televise or record the council meetings now, and we forgot to turn it on. So
Do we get to make our announcements again?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. You can make the announcements at the end of the meeting, okay? So with us today is a very special young person by the name of Paige Weatherby, and Paige is our fire chief for the day. And in order for Paige to be able to have this honor, she had to do a project at school. And Colin, are you going to bring Paige up, you and the fire chief? And this is oh, okay. All right. So maybe Colin or Phil, you could to explain what Paige had to do in order to become the fire chief for the day.
So what we did was we went into the schools and we created what we called a home escape challenge, so home fire escape planning. And Paige put together a wonderful home fire escape plan, as you can see here. And there are actually 3 sheets to her home fire escape plan. This is her aerial view of the house. She also did a 3D rendering of the house, if we can skip through the page. There we go. This works? Okay, thank you. So there we go. So we have a 3D rendering, and we encourage the kids to get 2 ways out of every room and a meeting place. And Paige actually came up with 3 ways out, didn't you, Paige? And so we got 3 ways out there, and then a wonderful piece of artwork to go along with it. But it was definitely, the thing that impressed us the most was that you could tell the whole family got involved and came up with a plan, and it's very important. And I think Paige and her family did a wonderful job. So I'd like to thank Paige on behalf of the fire department for putting in the hard work, handing it in, and making your family safe by developing a home fire escape plan. So thank you very much, Paige. Next presentation we have is a check presentation for the new animal shelter. So I would like to ask Ginger, I'll leave it. Oh, good. Come on up. Do you want to use that mic, Liz, please, so we can hear you?
Okay, well, so I'm here with some of our volunteers and our board members, and it's our very great pleasure to begin the official handover of the considerable monies raised in this community. 19,000 volunteer hours, 300 volunteers, and almost 7 years later, we have $650,000 to give to you to begin building this shelter that was Ginger's vision so very long ago.
And I just want to thank the council and of Uxbridge and Scugog, because you've worked together. And I'm so excited that the shovel's going to go in the ground next year. And I want to, there are countless sponsors, donors, and donors. We have one little boy that's 5 years old that gives $5 a month. So it's awesome. Birthday party money. All our businesses in both towns that went up for the sponsorships for the gala and for our In the Rough. So it's been a fantastic venture for me. I'm moving on with family and business, and I also have a love for our hospitals. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time volunteering at the hospitals. I already volunteer here, and as soon as the other one's open again, I'll volunteer over there. Thank you very much once again.
I never heard anybody that couldn't hear me yet, but I just want to say to this group, and there's hundreds more of you out there, huge thank you for your commitment over the past 7 years for this very worthwhile project. I can't even begin to say where we would be if it hadn't been for the dedication that you have given to this. We will be putting a shovel in the ground in the spring, and all your work, your hard work, will be realized at that time. So we expect to see you all out at the groundbreaking ceremony for sure. And I want to say a huge thank you on behalf of our friends that can't speak, our four-legged friends, for the residents of the township, and especially for the two councils. A huge thank you for the hard work and the amount of money that you have been able to raise for this most worthwhile project. And I would like to ask if we could, because we've got 3 staff members here, maybe 3, 4, 3 staff members here that are going to benefit from the new shelter. And if we could have 2 pictures, if we could have a picture done with the committee themselves, and then we'd like a picture done with the committee and the animal shelter people. Okay? This morning I also have the pleasure to present a couple long-term awards for people that have worked in the municipality. We want to express our sincere appreciation for the commitment and the dedication that they've given to their job serving the residents of the Township of Uxbridge. And the first one is a Certificate of Appreciation, and we'd like to present that along with a gift certificate to Ann Godber, and just God be here. I hope he is today with me. Anne recently retired from the Uxbridge Library, where she has worked for many, many years, and her service is going to be missed. But Anne, we wish you many years of good health and much happiness in your retirement. The second certificate we're presenting this morning is also a certificate of appreciation for somebody who's worked with us now for 30 years and has served not only working in the downstairs department of the planning, but also has in the last few years worked for the fire department. So she's multi-tasked her position over the years, and not only has she done a good job here, but she's an amazing cook. And especially around Christmas time, we're all privileged to have these big tins of homemade goodies come in. So I noticed that the new fire chief has already sort of let out his buttons a bit, but anyway, we can blame Millie for that. So Millie, please come forward, and again, thank you for all your years of service. I do want to mention that we do have another person that would be recognized, but he's probably out on the ice surface right now, and that's Tim Morrison, who has dedicated 10 years of his working life to the Uxbridge Arena, looking after the arena and the ice. So we also appreciate his service. Okay. We'll just check and see if our first delegation's here. I will be leaving at about 20 to 11 for a appointment. Hopefully I'll get back for the in-camera. And Debbie, the clerk, is just looking at the procedure bylaw, whether council appoints someone, because the deputy mayor and the mayor are both going to be absent, or whether council will elect one, or whether I can appoint one. I did speak to Jack this morning and asked him if he would do it, but we just have to check with our bylaw. Oh, here he is. What's this about? What's this about?
Good morning. Thank you. So on this property, all we're doing is just building a new house on it. So which is 4,000 square feet bungalow. All I have right now is the drawings is already done, and that's all I have here with me right now. Would you guys want to see it, or? Sorry.
Square foot, bungalow?
Bungalow, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And why are you here then?
Thank you, Your Worship. Mr. Hung is here representing the owners in request seeking an exemption to the site alteration bylaw for some site alterations that were done to the site prior to the removal of the house. So, Mr. Hung, could you just briefly tell Council with regards to the grading changes what occurred on the property to date?
What we did is we demoed the house, the existing house, and the grade on the ground, what we did was just skimmed out the weeds that was there from the previous owner, which is about 4 feet high. And that's all we did.
So the property was mostly, it was grubbing, it was a cleaning up of the property. Some background for council is the property itself is on Regional Road 21, just east of the Fisco subdivision. I believe it's a 10-acre parcel.
6 acres.
Six. There was some substantial grubbing that was done to the property to clean it up. The building was since removed. Our site alteration bylaw doesn't allow site alterations in areas of Oak Ridges Moraine, so that's why Mr. Hung would have to seek an exemption to get a permit if council deemed so, giving him an exemption.
Okay, so just so we're all clear, the grubbing has been done. It was done without a permit. And so now he is here to ask for an exemption from the permit, or?
Correct, because there was a violation of the bylaw. Prior to speaking with Mr. Hung, the works were completed. The works are minor in nature. No fill was brought onto the property, any type of soils. It was mostly just a clearing of undergrowth and just a cleanup of the property, but it was a substantial amount of space. As staff, there is a violation of the bylaw that existed there. We feel that if Mr. Hung was aware or knew that he should have got a permit, he's been great working with Officer Neal, that he would have obtained a permit if he knew that he needed to.
Okay, so your recommendation is?
That council grant his exemption to the site alteration bylaw. If you do so, then he would be required to pay double the application fee as it's getting a permit after the fact. We don't feel that it's anything major that's occurred on the property. It's
Okay.
really just cleaning up the property itself.
Sure. Okay, so you might not have to say anything more, Mr. Hung, so everybody understands what's happened? Councillor Hyatt?
Just a question through you to Andre. So when he came in to get the building sorted out, obviously he would have to submit plans. Was he not made aware that he would have to have a site plan agreement or a grading plan on this property?
I believe, and Mr. Hung can correct me, they began by first cleaning up the property, the state of the grounds,
Right.
and then they obtained a demolition permit from downstairs to demolish the property. So they started really with cleaning the grounds, and that's what led us to being called out to the property and issuing some orders. So he's a contractor on behalf of the agents, so once he became aware.
Would they have been made aware at the get-go that
Not necessarily, if they just had bought the property and began to do the works as they assume
Okay.
that they could.
That might be
Yep.
something that you could add to development services, so that when someone does come in,
Yep.
they don't go ahead and violate the bylaw without knowing about it, okay?
Correct.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, council, how do you wish to deal with this? Pam?
I agree that the double the permit, fee should be paid, 'cause
Shouldn't be paid?
it should be paid, for the simple reason, if we let things go like this, that's a bylaw, and in the Oak Ridge Moraine, that's, I think, important to do that, and then to grant the,
Yeah, the standard would be that if somebody's trying to get a permit after the fact, they should be charged the double the application. In this particular instance, because no soils were brought on the property, it's just a matter of making application. There may be some submissions that Ryan will want to see as part of that application, but it's more just an application for site alteration and not importing of any type of soils.
Okay, so Pam, Councillor Beach has made the, motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor, Ballinger, all those in favor? Sorry. I don't know what the motion is, sorry. Oh, the motion was that the applicant, or do you wanna repeat it?
that the applicant pay double the fee, if you wanna finish up, or I'm gonna start coughing again, sorry.
Double the just one second. I'm just repeating what, okay, that the applicant pay double the permit fee.
Okay, so, I think what Mr. Hung was asking for was an exemption,
Right.
Andre? Is that what?
To the site alteration bylaw,
Yeah.
to allow
But
him.
still obtain a permit?
He has to seek the exemption to be allowed to obtain a permit, so the exemption has to occur first before he would be able to obtain a
So,
permit.
there should be, approve the exemption, we have to do that first, Pam, okay? And then pay, double the permit. Okay? Questions from council? Mr. Hung, do you have any questions?
Nope,
No?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I need a seconder, Councillor Ballinger. All. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, 10:35, is not here yet. Are you Trudy? Oh, I'm very sorry, Trudy. Come on up to the, microphone, and, Trudy is here this morning to request an extension for the demolition of their property on Durham Road 39 in Zephyr. Trudy, when did you get your your demolition permit?
It comes due at the end of this month. Is that what you're asking, or?
Yeah, so it's, and have you had an extension yet?
Yes, we've had an extension.
One?
2 extensions, actually.
You've had 2 extensions.
Yes, the building inspector who's been inspecting our builds, he says we're close to being done in his opinion. The electrical, the plumbing is done, it's heated. The drywall is, 75% hung. We still have to complete the mudding and taping and put in a functional kitchen and bathroom, and then we'll move in. We were hoping to extend, the demolition agreement to about April or May. Mr. Pagoza from the building department downstairs, suggested we come to council and request a 6-month extension.
Okay. Is there any questions? None? Okay, can I have a motion? Councillor Barton?
Yeah, I move that we grant a 6-month extension to this property.
To the property at 14789 Durham Road 39 in Zephyr?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any questions on it? Do I have a seconder? Councillor Bryan. All those in favor? Carried.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you, Trudy. Okay. The next people aren't here yet, so let's go to approval of the minutes. Council of November the 27th. Councillor Hyatt, seconded by Councillor Barton. All those in favor? Carried. Correspondence, Madam Clerk.
Correspondence item 141, Region of Durham, re 2016 Census Population, Families, Households, Marital Status, Language and Income.
Received for information, seconded by Councillor Ballinger. All those in favor? Carried.
Correspondence item 142, Town of Ingersoll re-proposed Ontario Legislation Bill 139, Building Better Communities and Watersheds.
Councillor Barton?
Yeah, I would move to support this.
Okay. And do we have a seconder? Councillor Bryan. All those in favor? Carried.
Correspondence item 143, Enbridge Gas Distribution re Enbridge Gas Distribution Inc., Union Gas Limited application for amalgamation, notice of application.
Councillor Barton?
Yeah, move to receive this.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Hyatt. All those in favor? Carried.
Correspondence item 144, Cornerstone Standards Council re Gravel Watch Ontario correspondence regarding Cornerstone Standards Council.
Councillor Ballinger? Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Hyatt. All those in favor? Carried.
145, Uxbridge Shooting Sports re list of Saturdays utilized for shooting events at Uxbridge Shooting Sports for the year 2018.
Councillor Beach? Or Councillor Barton? Councillor Barton? Well, I think you have to support it. Oh. Okay, so what you're doing is you're supporting the shooting events for USS in the year of 2018 as outlined in their letter?
Yes.
Okay. Question, Councillor Hyatt?
Yeah, the report that came previously talked about a national event. Do we know if any of these dates fulfill that? Mr.
Maybe.
Malcolm is here, maybe I can make a motion for him to speak.
Right, okay. Do I
Okay.
have a seconder? Councillor Bryan. All those in favor? Carried.
Come on up, Steve, to the
Could you
microphone.
come up to the microphone, please, Steve?
We had a report, as you're probably well aware, to council a couple of weeks ago about
Yes.
the national event and where that would fit in with these dates.
Yes.
Are any of them,
No, none of those dates
None of
are for a
those?
national or provincial event.
they're not, okay. That was short and sweet, so.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, so we have a motion moved by Councillor Barton, seconded by Councillor Beach. All those in favor? Carried.
Correspondence item 146, Karen Galt, Durham District School Board re kiss and ride signs at the Uxbridge Public School and traffic flow during the transportation strike starting November 30th.
Okay, questions? It's yours, Councillor Bryan. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I just have a quick question. Is this still relevant, Councillor Barton, when they're talking about the transportation strike?
So, yes, the transportation strike portion of this is not relevant. But the majority of that email was about changing the kiss and ride signs. They were finding that the no parking time was for the entire school day. They wanted to be able to access those parking spots for everything but the half hour during pickup and drop off. I was in the office, so she sent me an email. I think I copied you on this, Fred.
Yeah, just one other quick question then while I'm at it. I assume you've talked to Andre about this?
I mentioned it to Andre and we forwarded this from,
Okay, and his thoughts are?
he supports this.
Okay. And as long as it's enforceable, then I think it's a great idea. I know from my daughter going there for years and years, you go to drop by at noon or something and you're always double parked, so I think this is a great idea, so thank you for bringing that forward.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah. We're just going to get Andre to come in. Yes, Councillor Hyatt?
Excuse me, the writer of this, is this the principal of the school?
Yes, that's
It
the
is.
principal of the school.
I wasn't sure whether it was a parent or what it was, so.
Yeah, no, that's,
So it is the principal?
yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Do you want to come up, Andre, please? We're dealing with correspondence from Karen Galt the Durham District School Board, regarding kiss and ride signs at Uxbridge Public School and the, traffic flow, during the transportation strike, which luckily didn't happen. So really what we're dealing with now is just the kiss and ride signs. Do you have any issues with what they are suggesting?
I believe my understanding of the suggestion was that they basically wanted to have prohibited times during high congestion areas, and then outside of that, people be able to park there, so that if you're coming in late with your son or daughter and you need to physically walk them in and sign them in. I don't particularly have an issue as long as those congestion areas are kept free when we need them, that outside of, once the kids are already in class, I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll make a motion then that we adjust those signs accordingly, get some signs made from Public Works and put them up.
Seconded by Councillor Barton. Sorry, yes?
Through you to Andre, how do we deal with somebody who's already been parked at that location when these times hit? How do you deal with it? Are you going to be ticketing them, or?
Yeah, we ticket them now, so anybody that the officers see, they get a ticket.
So if they're already parked prior to 8:50, for instance, in that spot or that section, you would be ticketing them?
Well, it depends what the times are. It's different for each school, but if they're there within the time frame that prohibits it, they get a ticket.
All right, thanks.
Okay, any further questions? Not, all those in favor? Carried.
Correspondence item 147, Kathy Christoph, Roxy Kids in Action. Re 2017 Roxy Kids in Action Santa Claus Parade Float.
Make a motion just to say it was great, and thank you, and receive it for information.
Okay.
Wonderful picture.
Thank you. Seconded by
Especially
Councillor
because
Hyatt.
sorry to interrupt, just because we never see them.
I know.
It's nice to see an actual picture of the parade.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate part, is when you're in it, you don't see it, so. Okay, so, we've got a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? Carried. Committee meetings, and minutes, report 23, of the general purpose. Moved by Councillor Hyatt, seconded by Councillor Beach. All those in favor? Carried. Reports to Council, CL 4017 of Catalina Blumenberg, Deputy Clerk, re-update on Council's Code of Conduct. Oh, okay. So, let's go back, now that we've got, David Walker and Kevin Alcock, with us. We're running ahead of time, so you're fine. Yeah, wow is right. So I will ask them to make a presentation. First of all, though, how do I? Okay, so, council apparently has to appoint from yourselves who's going into the chair. So can I have somebody appointed? Councillor Ballinger?
I'll appoint Councillor Hyatt.
Okay.
Been here 12 years, I think it'd be good.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor Bryan. All those in favor? Carried. Just so you know what's going on, Councillor Malloy is away. His mother is very, very ill, and I have an appointment at 11. So, Councillor Hyatt is going into the chair on behalf of the mayor and the deputy mayor, and hopefully I'll get back for the in-camera.
Thank you, Mayor O'Connor. Come on up, gentlemen. I don't know which of you is going to speak, or both. Go on up to the podium there and share your great news with us. It always is good news from you guys, so. The good news is. Just turn your mic on, Kevin, if you just want to sit down there. You can sit down, you don't have to stand. Yeah. There you go.
Not you. Testing. All right. Well, thank you for, I don't have to hold it, okay. It's too much technology, I work with hammers for a living. Yeah. with him, there's gonna be one for sure. So, the UHA we just had, general elections. I'll be stepping down as president, and Dave Walker will be stepping in as president.
When did that happen?
You
I'm
wish.
just kidding.
Yeah. I don't know, it was just what I was told. Anyways, as you know, the Horsemen's Association has been, active in the community, doing lots of stuff. We've run horse shows in the park and held educational clinics throughout the region. Dave especially, and the UHA has been very supportive of trails and, working with conservation authorities to keep the trails multi-use. But we've been using the ring in the park for quite a number of years, and we wanted to show our appreciation for that. And because we have a little extra funds this year, we wanted to make a presentation of a donation to Parks and Rec. Hopefully it will be used directly at Elgin Park. And it's just as a thank you. It's a check for $500. And we just wanted to say thank you to the town for...
Oh, yeah, I know, I do. Yeah. Oh, we should have made the check larger, yeah.
Put the poinsettia there. Jump in there, Dave. Oh, ready? Oh, do you want to, you go first. Oh, who's up first? Okay, all right, here we go, 1, 2.
Anyway, from the it's been an absolute pleasure to work with Parks and Recs. They're there when you need them, they're open to discussion, and with your support, let's go for another great year. Just a thank you from the UHA. Yeah.
Can I just say something? Sorry. Guys. Oh, okay.
You gotta get one more photo, guys. We gotta have an in-house photo here. In-house photo, David.
Was it a selfie? She was smiling.
Mr. Chair, can I say a few words? Through you, Mr. Chair, to the two gentlemen here, David and Kevin, just on, I say this beyond behalf of council, but also on behalf of all the citizens of Uxbridge. You guys do so much between the Trails Committee, between the Horsemen's Association. I can tell you when it came to July the 1st for the holiday and to have the parade, all the way through the whole DVD is the horses and people that were with Trails. So on behalf of the whole community, thank you very, very much.
And I echo those sentiments, gentlemen. You got some big shoes to fill there. Are you sure you want to do this? Big head, too. Big head. Well, we won't go there, but yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for everything that you've done. It's great. Are they? Okay. So you'll give him a job to do? That's great. Thank you, guys. It's excellent. Okay, we will move along then to correspondence reports, CL 17. Catalina, want to come on up, just in case we have questions? Councillor Ballinger.
This is on the code of conduct.
This is on the code of conduct.
Just one thing that I did notice through there, and I discussed at the region, if you declare a pecuniary interest, a conflict, you're gonna have to put it in writing now, is that correct, Catalina? Do you do that before you declare, or after, can you hand it in after?
We'll have forms here, at council chambers, so you can do it before or during or after, and you can give them to us, and then we'll be keeping a tally of all of the conflicts declared and posting them online.
And a secondary question, Mr. Chair, when does this start?
We were thinking of starting it at the beginning of the new year, but we're not legislated to start it until March 1st, 2019. We just want to be ahead of the game and show the province how committed we are to this.
Thank you, you've answered my question.
Councillor Bryan?
Thank you, Catalina. One quick question. Is that why it's on the bylaws today? Because you wanted to get it done before the end of the year? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, because I'm just not a big fan if something comes on and then we have the bylaw the same day. I would rather we have it sat, but I just wanted to know why. Thank you.
Any other questions? Catalina, I just have one other question, so just hold that. 5.1, you have it in front of you? Okay, everybody's got a chance to read it. Could you just explain to me what that really means? Or the obligations of councillors, I guess?
So what that means is that even if as a council member you don't agree with a decision that was made at council, that you show respect for that decision, let's just say in the media or through social media. So it's just fostering the respect for the decision-making process that you guys hold.
So does that mean not being critical of the decision made by council, or can you, again, just elaborate on what it really means?
So of course you can be critical, but just be respectful of the decision. So of course it's, as your point of view, if you don't agree with something, of course you can be critical, that's up to you, but we wanted to put that into our code of conduct to say that although you might not have agreed with the decision that was made, you're not going to smear the decision-making process or council in general.
Right. So you would just say, I don't support it, or I don't agree with it, that end of story, right? You don't get into personalities or anything else, right?
Exactly. And you guys already do that, it's just
yeah,
put it
I
in
wasn't
writing.
clear exactly on what you were inferring there, so. Any other questions? We have a motion, Councillor Ballinger. Move the report, Councillor Beach seconded, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. 6317 from Catalina, this is the annual accessibility update for 2017. Any questions? Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Bryan and Councillor Barton, any questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And CL 6417, you've been busy this weekend. Merry Christmas to you, too. This is the temporary replacement alternate members of Regional Council. Can I just ask on this before we get into more questions, are we obligated to do this, or is it just a good practice?
No.
Or best practice?
I wouldn't even call it a best practice. It's just a new option that the province has provided municipalities to do, and I think that it pertains to sort of that one-off emergency situations where both the regional councillor and the mayor can't be there.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not under no obligation.
If someone had to go on a sick leave for, treatments for whatever, I can see where this would be applicable. But to miss one meeting because you had a dentist appointment, to me, I mean, where is it going with this? Is that what your intention is for someone that's on a long-term disability type of situation?
Our intention would be for emergency situations only.
Okay. So I would suggest, and I'm just going to put it out there, that council would decide at that time. In other words, if the regional councillor and or the mayor were away because of that type of thing, where it was a health issue or whatever, then that might be the time that council would appoint someone. I don't think having it ready really makes any sense, although other councillors might disagree with that. So, Debbie, you got a question? Comment?
If I could suggest that perhaps this isn't quite finished at the region, so it went to committee of the whole last week. I understand that there was quite an upheaval about it, to put it nicely, and I believe it is going to council this week. Council may want to table this until the new year, and kind of see what happens at the region. I'm not sure that there might not be some wrinkles that need to be ironed out yet. Adnan is coming in for 11 o'clock, and he was gonna be here to speak to this if there was any question. But I had suggested to him that I may ask if council are okay with tabling it until the new year to
Okay.
see what happens at the region.
That's a reasonable request. Anybody have any quick questions before we do it? Go ahead, Jack.
Through you, Mr. Chair, just some information. Where we got hung up on was, it says for council down, if I phoned and we had an alternative, it would only be for council. Where we really get hung up, all the work is done at, committee. We spend the whole day at committee, like I expect to go in on Wednesday of this week, and we will go through council pretty quick. There'll be a couple things, but that should be it. But this is only saying for council. And as far as, per diem, per rate, councillors, it's, you get your mileage if you're the alternative. Like, there's a few hang-ups that we've got to get clear down there yet.
Okay. So I think we'll take that recommendation to table.
So-
Someone like to make that motion? Councillor
I'll
Beach?
give you a motion to table it.
Okay.
You may want to ask, Adnan if he wants to say something, he wants to go.
Well, if we table it, we can ask him a little bit later, maybe, so I Councillor Beach and Ballinger, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thank you, Catalina. All right, bylaws. Who's got the bylaws? Councillor Bryan. Any questions to the bylaws? Going, gone? No? Are you okay, Councillor Bryan, with your earlier request?
I am good, thank you.
You're good with that one?
I can just
Okay.
say, you're the best chair I've seen in quite a while. I've got to bring that up.
Thank you. All right, go ahead.
Bylaws requiring 3 readings. First and second reading, moved by Councillor Bryan, seconded by Councillor Barton, that leave be granted to introduce bylaws number 2017-184 to 2017-192, and the same be read a first and second time.
Any questions on first and second reading? There's none. All in favor? Carried. Move for third.
Third reading, moved by Councillor Bryan, seconded by Councillor Barton, that all bylaws number 2017-184 to 2017-192 be now read a third time, finally passed, and the mayor and clerk duly sign and seal same.
Questions on third reading? There being none. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Bryan. Other business. We have correspondence here from Metrolinx regarding the commencement and public engagement of the Lincolnville layover and GO station improvements. Questions? You're
I'll give
smiling
you-
over
I'm
there,
gonna give
Councillor
you-
Ballinger. Are you-
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna give you a motion to receive this. It's, to me, it's just like a holding stage that they're gonna put there for a while, for extra, trains and everything, until they do the proper planning on it.
Did everyone read that report of what Metrolinx is planning for their electric trains? So everybody's familiar with that? This is the first step of that. So I'm glad to see that they've recommended that Lincolnville is in the loop, if you can excuse the
Yeah.
pun. I mean, it's something that we, as rural residents, I guess if we can call it that, I mean, that's our closest hub to, at least for now, to rail. I mean, they're also putting these hubs along the 407 for busing. And if you've seen those sort of lay-bys where you park your car, it's like a kiss and ride thing. So I think this is good. Whether that ever comes to Uxbridge someday, maybe we'll keep our fingers crossed, but at least they're moving in the right direction here. So we have a motion to receive. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Jack. Financial support for Syrian families in Uxbridge from the Golf Fund. Councillor Ballinger.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you. I don't know how to put this. We have 5 Syrian families in Uxbridge that came here. They came last year ago, September. They were sponsored. Sponsorship has come to near the end. These people work hard. All 5 families want to remain in Uxbridge. They love it here. And I can give you the experience from the family that's with me. They're a family of 5. The father, Shadi, is a surgical nurse over in his country of Syria. Hasn't been accepted here. So that man is out driving a truck every day. His wife has, through my daughter, teaching her how to catch the buses, gone to Toronto and is now doing seamstress work. They have 3 children. We have a golf fund here that we use that money to help people. It's not that we're taking taxpayers' money. And I had mentioned before to the mayor, it would be a wonderful thing if we could give them something for Christmas, the 5 families. And the mayor had indicated that she would be glad to write a letter and through the golf fund, again, put a check in and get them to the 5 different families. The amount that was discussed and was $500 a family. So it's council's decision, but I am willing to put a motion forward that we do that. A one-time thing this year.
So you're making a motion to refer this to the golf fund?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Questions? Councillor Beach? Seconded by Councillor Beach. Any questions? All in favor? Refer it to the golf fund. Yeah. The request. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Ballinger.
Well, thank you.
Is there any other business? There being none, we'll go to the press. Folks, any questions?
Just one, Councillor. Just to be clear, that is $500 per family from the golf con?
I believe that was the request.
Thank you.
Yeah. Questions, Moya? You're good? Sam? You good? Public. You got dressed up for nothing? Okay, we are going in camera. Unless there's any other... We can take a break, sure. Before we go in camera, we'll take 5.
Councillor?
We can take 10. Everybody good with that motion? Take it. We will take a 10-minute...
Councillor?
Thank you all for coming. Yes, sir.
With Councillor Malloy away, will the budget hearing still take place tomorrow?
I would assume so. Donna, do you have any information on that? We'll find a substitute for...
I'm sorry?
We'll find a substitute for Councillor Malloy if he can't
Okay.
be here tomorrow. So.
Councillor Hyatt. Councillor
I'm actually
Hyatt.
the vice chair of finance, so... Thank you. I hope there's a raise in the budget.